Thank you, Dr. Pavanova, for a very detailed presentation. The next speaker is Solon Kassinis from Cyprus. The formal title is the Director of Energy Services Ministry in the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Tourism of Cyprus. But beyond the formal title is a person who is really a prophet in this field, someone who preached for many, many years, long before anyone really discovered gas, the natural gas, and he saw this as an opportunity to create a different environment in the Middle East. And I have, just as I did with Dr. Pavanova, I want to give one question, and that is, Cyprus, your country, is now in the presidency of the EU. This is a short-term presidency, only 6 months, of which 2 months are gone by the sacred summer holiday, but still several months to do something. Will Cyprus use this presidency in order to increase the awareness in the European Union because to the availability of this natural gas sources? Because my impression is that Europe is on the political level is reluctant to touch this area. We saw the Russians coming, they were the first. I here take issue with the presentation in the morning on the Russian angle. I think that the Russians don't mind that the gas goes from the Mediterranean to Europe, except that they want to control the flow, the price, and the almost total exclusivity that they have in terms of supplying Europe. But will Cyprus use these 6 months and push for a greater European awareness of these developments in the region? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. I think that is the first time I've been, although I've been rather late, I didn't hear everything, but taking this opportunity, I would like to make a kind request to our friends, the academicians, who I have heard this morning. And I'm telling you that we, all of us, and me as a technical man, we have to try and assist the politicians to bridge their differences, rather than they create these sort of barriers that they won't help anybody. I'm telling you, yes, that for example, the Anglos 82 has been signed by 162 countries. The Anglos, because I've been in all sort of delimitation with our 3 neighboring countries, and I know, and also among of which is European Union. So the contingency zone, or the EZ, I believe that the EZ is taking a lot of sort of paddles nowadays, and thus, in spite of the fact that the Israelis, they haven't signed it, we base on the Anglos 82, our delimitation. And I believe that with our assistance, when I'm saying the academicians, the technocrats, the lawyers, or whatever, we can contribute towards the politicians bridging these problems, which are not so severe, believe you me. I'm coming from the occupied area myself. I've been living so many years. When I was assisting, for example, Israelis to believe that there is in Mediterranean Sea oil and gas, I didn't do it because I wanted to do it for Cyprus. I did it because I wanted to do it for the region. And I do believe that today's sort of conference heading is that's what we have to do ourselves. And it can be a catalyst solving problem, not to be a barrier creating problems. And energy, that's how it should be used. And to improve the geopolitical stability in our regions, which is suffering for so many years. Israel is wasting so much money for defense, more than 25%. Why? What is the need and necessity? And so on. So we have to find ways and means of collaboration. And that's what is our job to do. Thank you very much. So I have to tell you a few facts and figures regarding what we are doing, what are our prospects, and I do believe that we have to work together. I'm really not so happy because, as I said, I've been grown up with Turkish Cypriot, and it's not nice to collaborate with Egyptians, with Lebanese, with even with Israelis and so on, every day in my office, and not to be able to collaborate with Turks and even Turkish Cypriots. This is wrong. And we have to, our educated people, we have to find ways and overcome these obstacles, honestly. So, well, I started working in this sector since 1977. Well, we know about the reserves, they've been mentioned by my friend Alexander before. And Tamar, yes, he used to belong to British cars. They didn't believe in it. And I used to say that in order to be able to find something in the Mediterranean Sea, you have to drip deeper. And that's why about a month ago I sold all our seismic data to the Egyptians, who they are going to revisit again the Nemet block and drill deeper. We had a lot of discussion myself with Shell at the time. They did 5 wells, well, with some results, but not the expected one. So the deep drilling is the one who creates and makes so prosperous Mediterranean Sea. We know about the Egyptians, and you can see from these pie charts that the main reserves are within Mediterranean Sea. Chairman, I shall answer your question at the end, if you don't mind. What we are doing. I didn't forget you. So what we did in our Block 12, well, we started drilling on the 19th of September. We concluded this drilling by 28th of December, and the estimated resources out of this drilling was 7 TCF, 5 to 8 as was mentioned. Well, during the estimations I made before, in January, when I had to stop the contract they tried to do with Shell, was 8 to 10. I do believe that it's going to be more. Don't forget that Tamar started with 3.5. You see the structure, which is of 41 square miles, it has fractures. And we have to drill, we drill here, we have to drill here as well, by the end of the year, beginning of next. So the total depth is 5,860 meters, and the water depth was 1,688 meters. You can see geological sort of cross-section here, how similar we have. Sorry. You see this Talit, this Tamar, this is Leviathan, and this is Cyprus. A, Aphrodite. I asked them to call it Solon, but they didn't believe me. So easy to write Solon instead of Aphrodite. Very long word. So you can see that it's very, very, very nice sands. These are the sands where they do have the natural gas. Very fantastic grain size and nice permeability and porosity. So these wells, they are considered very top class wells with very high pressure. So depending on what we are going to need, how much we are going to get out of it, we are going to make this money for how many wells they indicate, Dr. Amit, before that they need 6 or whatever, based on their needs. So this is what already been mentioned by my friend Saki before, that the Levantine Basin possess 122 TCF, very conservatively, I'm telling you, because I study very thoroughly the seismics of this area, and we did considerable amount of seismics ourselves. With the Egyptians, we have a confidentiality agreement as well, and we exchange data. So we know about the area itself, the grid itself, not just separately each country, and we are going to do similar sort of agreements, I believe, very soon with Israel. Also, you know, in ultra deep Nile Delta about the prospectivity, which is much higher, and Cyprus has a considerable percentage in that. Now, regarding the second bidding round, which was completed on the 11th of May, we had 15 companies and consortia. The number of applications were 33. The countries of origin was United Kingdom, France, USA, Israel, Netherlands, South Korea, Russia, Malaysia, Italy, Australia, Norway, Canada, Indonesia, Cyprus. We can give you this presentation. Don't try to write down things we shall give you. Is, I mean, open. We're open. So the message I wanted to give here is that so many countries, they believe in this unitization and this delimitation agreement, in the law of the sea and so on. So they trust that whatever we do is based on the international law and order. And this message, getting out of this procedure, we are going to utilize to the maximum possible extent. Egypt says, yes, whatever I have signed with Cyprus, I reiterate my interest and concern. I'm telling you that I'm going to stand by it. And they say it through our Minister of Foreign Affairs. They said it to me personally in various conferences. So what the message I'm saying in these conferences, they should concentrate to bridge differences, concentrate how to assist ourselves to join forces, how to assist ourselves. The politicians who they do not know details, who they do not know sort of things. Their main concern is to be re-elected after 5 years. But for us, we're working like myself for so many years in the same sector. So this is very important. Well, the facts about the geostrategic fact in the region, that we are in the crossroads of its big international energy routes. We are a member of the European Union. There is large potential for oil and gas trading, and it's not a matter of not living in the very, very important and nice word, Dr. Hamid. We are wonderful people. We have to make this work. We have to try. We have to make our efforts, and so on. So all these recent developments of gas and all these recent discoveries of gas, we can use Cyprus, yes, as a bridge to create the third corridor for European Union. And I believe that we can join forces with Israel, with Lebanon, and even with Palestinians, and this to be the catalyst for solving all these problems. And stop having this syndrome of the Israeli that everybody around you is against you. So you have to waste so much money and so on to fight outside Israel just to safeguard Israel. Join and make other access of peace. I'm not a politician, I'm a technocrat. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you what I believe. I'm telling you what we can use this as a tool to help these people to create these sort of things and save money and use them for other sort of solutions. So what we did with our neighbors, professors, we started with Egyptians. We delimited the exclusive economic zone 2003. We have signed the framework agreement, the unitization agreement in 2006, and a confidentiality agreement in 2006. Turkey has written a letter to Mubarak at that time, and they told them, wrong, you did very big mistake. You shouldn't sign with Cyprus. You should sign Turkey together with Egypt. Cyprus does not exist. It shouldn't have, because it doesn't have, it's an island. Doesn't have exclusive economic zone. Wrong. Cyprus is not an island only. It's a state island. It's a state which is been recognized by United Nations. It's a state which is within European Union. So stop using this sort of wrong sort of interpretation and misconception. We need other ways. And the only way is to collaborate truly and openly through transparency. So we did delimitate and sign an agreement with Lebanon. This has not been ratified due to the differences they do have on the tripartite point between Israel and Lebanon. And we try ourselves, and the Israeli friends of us, they know it, to be the catalyst to solve this difference. And it seems that this negotiation is going very well. With Israel, we have signed in December 2010, and in March 2011, it's March 2011, so what Alexander said within a year, is less than 6 months. It has been ratified by the Parliament of Israel. Now we are, and I do believe by the end of the year, we are going to conclude the unitization agreement, and we are coming very soon to Israel to continue our negotiations. Now we are talking about different ways how to collaborate. We can bring gas from Israel. Israel, I know how they feel, I know how they understand after, for example, the disruption of the gas from Egypt, but they have to find ways how to monetize this gas, because otherwise the companies won't come to Israel. You want to suppress the prices, I understand that, for domestic use, for electricity generation, and you are going to restrict also the possibility of export. This is not correct. You might suppress the prices, but at the same time, you might allow the companies to a certain extent to utilize the exports. Now, we do believe that Cyprus can be used as a basis for LNG liquefaction. We have allocated the land. We have carried out now environmental impact assessment study as well as risk assessment study. We started negotiation yesterday with Noble, and we are planning to see the routes of pipelines. We have completed the methometry studies, and we know from where the pipelines they are going to pass by. Also, we have submitted 2 different other projects, and now I'm coming to your question. The 2 projects is one, which I suggested to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs about a year ago, among 5 projects I was suggesting at that time as a technocrat, not politically. I mean, nothing was decided politically. But that's what I'm saying. As we have to trigger these sort of initiatives and help the politicians. So I suggested at that time 5 different projects when we meet at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And these 5 projects, among which was one, to generate electricity in Cyprus of 2,000 megawatts, to have a cable connecting Cyprus and Israel for security of supply reason, as MP from the European Parliament mentioned, and also the possibility of having a cable to go to Greece through Crete to Peloponnesus and then join to the networks. Another project which I have already submitted on the 7th of June under the technical sort of program of European Union that by the year 2015 all European Union countries, they should be interconnected. And the other one is a pipeline. Of course, yes, the depth of the sea is very deep. Going to Crete is challenging, but nevertheless, it has been accepted by European Union, both projects. And we are going to evaluate, and now there is a team here. Today there is a team collaborating with the Electricity Authority of Israel, our Electricity Authority, and the Electricity Authority of Greece, working towards that respect. Now, the liquefaction plan we are planning to do is going to be on EPC contract and on a tolling fee basis. So if you liquefy so much quantity to a company, to pay accordingly, and so on. So they're going to be very transparent, very European sort of procedures. These are our plans regarding 3 trains of 5 million tons per year of gas. And the area is next to Vasilikos, next to the biggest power station we're having. This is the project of common interest I've been suggesting regarding the pipeline and also the cable, and this is the cable one. So this is the way I believe that we could collaborate. These, during our presidency, they are going to be pronounced, these 2 projects, and also another one which has been accepted, which I suggested to the European Union, is on the 9th of November. We are going to have on a ministerial level a meeting in Cyprus regarding the safety during the drilling, offshore safety during the drilling. European Union, they accepted that, except Turkey. It's not going to join us. So I kindly request you, if you can contribute, do come. You're going to benefit. We all of us live out of Mediterranean Sea, semi-closed sea, somebody mentioned before, so many years. We all of us need to protect it. Cyprus is the only country in the region we make strategic environmental study before we made our first exploration well. So this is another issue we're going to do, Chairman, during our presidency. So the regional cooperation is all these items which I don't believe I have time. I passed my 15 minutes by 30 seconds, as I can see here. So I don't believe that I can say a lot, but we do believe that we can contribute substantially to Europe's energy security, but also it can contribute to the development of the region and to increase the geopolitical stability, which is so fragile so many years, and the people of our countries, they do suffer. Thank you very much.